Oh, good morning, gamers. It's good to see everybody. I hope you're ready to talk about some new RuneScape news. They just dropped a juicy one this morning, and you can hear me rubbing my hands together like a devious villain from a Disney movie, because we are talking about a new mid-level boss. And if you are a RuneScape gamer, if you are a certified fresh gamer, you recognize where I'm at right now. Right, this is the Barrows Brothers Graveyard. Now, why are we here, BaldMob? Why the freaking heck are we here right now? Why would you take us here with your two-handed axe and your forestry outfit? Well, because today's news post talks about a brand new mid-level boss, which is going to be very similar, if not Barrows 2.0. Perilous Moons, and these are the first looks at it, and then some of the rewards. Now, I'll be honest, I'm gonna be honest with you, okay? I spoiled myself. I looked ahead. I read ahead to class, and I'm sorry, but I had to, and the rewards are freaking kooky today. They are, Jagex is really, they're on one today. I'm gonna be honest with you, lads. This dungeon is accessed via Perilous Moons, which is an experience level quest that will see you delving into the depths of Camtorum. Okay, that sounds kind of cool. Sounds like a Diablo area, or Baldur's Gate. And this quest will reveal a new chunk of PVM content aimed at mid-level players! Pog, mid-level players are eating, dude! Valimor, okay, I see you, Jagex. Now, I'll be honest with you here. Remember, I'm a bad RuneScape gamer. I'm bad at this game, okay? You know that.
I
know that. We both know that.
You know you.
They also said Syracuse was a mid-level boss, and I get cooked by that thing. Now, maybe my account is below mid-level. You might say that. I've heard that before. But I will be the judge of whether or not this is mid-level content, Jagex, okay? So the dungeon holds 3 deadly Demi bosses. I notice they throw those around very often nowadays. Demi bosses make me think of like Sarah Dolman, Zamorak, and Guthix, not the Barrows brothers or sisters. Now, I already hear you saying, why are you making that comparison then? Well, because Jagex does it in the next paragraph, you frickin' frick. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you a name there, but if you can't tell, this encounter is heavily inspired by the iconic Barrows brothers, a mid-level combat staple. So unlike Barrows, however, this activity focuses on discovery and exploration. Okay, so you're going to be like delving and exploring through a dungeon. Now, here's my question. Are they going to make it like a randomized thing like they were planning on doing with the Fortis Coliseum? Making it like a randomized dungeon? I'm probably getting ahead of myself. I should just wait. Let's read it together here. We want you to feel like you're progressing through a dungeon in a meaningful way. Okay, I like that. Learning more about Valimor's ancient history as you go. Okay, now you lost me. History lesson? Come on. We are taking all the best bits of Barrows and the Forthos dungeon to create a new well-rounded adventuring experience. Okay, so Forthos Dungeon, bear with me here for a second. That is the area that's already in the, in Corinth, correct? And that's the area where you can, yeah, right here, so kind of by Hesidius. Now, if you've never been here before, it's basically just like I would call it a mini dungeon. You're exploring at your own rate. You're kind of just going through and searching for, you know, there's like a mini quest down there. There's like a little mini boss encounter. And that's also where Syracuse is. So it's just kind of a explore at your own pace. Kind of like a Goosebumps, read at your own pace, you know, choose your own ending. Alright, so we recommend tackling the dungeon with a combat level of 65 or more. Down in the depths, defense is key. They really try to prioritize defense here in this new dungeon they're creating. So next up, they talk about kind of what the dungeon will be like, or what to at least kind of expect. They don't really get into many spoilers here yet, because a lot of it, I believe, is probably still concept, but they say that every trip into the temple begins in a central room, which expands outwards along 4 ominously long corridors. That was my nickname in high school, ominously long corridor. That's not what I... Never mind. Each of these leads to a different area of the dungeon, with different elements and opportunities to explore. Okay, so it is going to probably have some sort of semi-randomness. However, only one corridor will be open to you each time you enter, meaning that every encounter begins slightly different to the ones before it. Now, it does only say slightly, so it's not going to be maybe a completely randomized situation like they're trying to do with maybe like the Fortis Coliseum and the wave generation base and like the completely random elements, but there will be some slightly differentiating circumstances. Each room in this temple contains enemies to fight, shortcuts to cross, and opportunities to flex your skilling muscles! Yes! Pog! Skilling hardcore Ironmans prevail! Although the temple has seemingly been abandoned for many centuries, you'll have the opportunity to acquire food and prayer restoration items that will help you achieve your goal. Okay, so this is definitely based on the mid-level newbies. And I can say that because that's me, okay? Normally, old Jagex would not do this, dude. Barrows dungeon, they drain your prayer in like 2 seconds. New Jagex, they give you prayer restoration items. I'm just saying, okay? I'm just an observer. Please note that nothing you acquire inside can leave the temple again. Okay, this is interesting. Base camps around the dungeon will let you store and retrieve tools for hunter, fishing, and other gathering skills. So that really makes me think of Chambers of Xeric, like the preparation rooms. You'll always have the ability to gather those precious resources when you need them. And then after you are all stocked up, kind of almost like dungeoneering. I know everybody makes that comparison to everything people release or everything Jagex releases into old school, but they make that dungeoneering comparison kind of here as well. You gear up, you get all the supplies you need, and then it's time to face the Demi bosses. Or I guess you could also say, like, the Crystal Gauntlet. And then here are the mysteriously shadowed, figured Demi bosses. They all kind of look the same, and that's not offensive, dude. They literally are 3 shadow silhouettes, okay? 2 of them even have, like, the same little spiky bat. Okay, just chill. Just chill. Just like Barrows, the temple is home to several different bosses. The more you defeat, the better loot you'll get. I'm imagining that's the bosses, considering it's under the headline, the Demi bosses. It doesn't matter which Demi bosses you tackle first, as your chance of loot is only affected by how many of them you defeat. Subdue all 3 and you'll have the best loot in the bag. Okay, so it's kind of like a risk-reward system. That seems to be the thing Jagex likes to do nowadays. Alright, so here's where things get interesting. Unlike the Barrows brothers, these Demi bosses can be fought by multiple players at the same time. They say without dropping any spoilers, these powerful entities cannot be killed. Your job is to distract them to ensure they remain contained within the temple. That is like almost exactly copy-paste Wintertot. Not saying that they're, reusing ideas. I already used that in the title. But, like, okay, so you're one group of people fighting one boss at a time here. You don't kill the boss, you're trying to contain it in one area. That's Wintertot. That's literally the Wintertot. Now, the way you fight it, the mechanics are different. I'm just saying the idea is similar. That's all I'm saying, okay? Relax. Instead of having one big health bar that you and your companions are working to deplete, every player involved will have their own individual health bar. Okay, so see, it's definitely not like Wintertot. So if someone else is slacking off, not doing anything, their bot is broken, it's only going to affect them. They're going to be the ones that die, not you. You're trying to just literally distract them so you can either get out of there or, lock them in the temple room perhaps. So go solo, bring your friends, either way, it doesn't matter, you'll get yours. So here's the tactic that they mention quite often. As we mentioned above, defense is a keystone of this content. Most gear, especially in the late game, focuses on offensive bonuses. Very true. The bosses share a mechanic which highlights the importance of defense, and each individual boss also has their own way of lowering your DPS. So like we mentioned earlier, right? We are the ones that have the health bars trying to escape or trap the bosses. We're not trying to hurt them. We're just trying to defend. We're trying to stay alive. Staying alive. Each boss's basic attack will hit 3 times. Each hit is harder than the last. However, should any of these attacks miss, the others will miss as well. Now on to the rewards for the Perilous Moons, the Blood Rager set, the Frost Moon set, and the Eclipse, total eclipse of the set. Before we get our greedy little hands on rewards, they are stressing here that they're trying something new and experimental. Alright, so they start off by saying all of these sets only trigger their set effects and a weapon special effect when wearing the complete set. So you have to wear the whole set for any of these effects to even matter. First up is the Blood Rager set. This gear set somewhere between Barrows and God Wars. Features a hard-hitting weapon that's especially effective against low defense enemies. That's their bread and butter for these rewards, basically, right? High defense. And then they give you some stats. If you want to look at them, pause the video. Drawing power from the angriest phase of the moon, the Blood Rager set affects memories of ancient bloodthirst, causing them to rip and tear through low defense targets in a devastatingly ferocious assault. So it has a speedy rate of 4 ticks, and they hit twice. That is wild. They also have a special attack allowing you to sacrifice 10% of your current hit points to raise your maximum. So this kind of gives me Darok vibes, for lack of a better word. I hate to use that, but it reminds me of Daroks. Hard hitting, but more of defensive instead of offensive, which is interesting. Alright, next up is the Frost Moon set. This provides a mid-game boost to magic defense, capitalizing on immobilized targets like binds, which is crazy, and complementing both melee and magic attacks. So they say that the main benefit of this set is strong magic accuracy compared to the other mid-game sets, combined with defensive capabilities against magic and crush styles. Here's what really got my gears a-going. This got me real amped freaking up. The real star of this set, though, is the Spell Spear, a melee weapon that hits significantly harder than your standard staff, while allowing you to auto-cast whatever spells you like. What? What? Dude, that's freaking crazy. Sorry to Donald Duck on you there. 5% increase to magic strength, you'll be freezing your enemies in their tracks and doing serious damage. But they saved the best for last. The final armor set is the Eclipse set. This gear provides a lower level alternative to the Blowpipe, Pog! No Zora grind, Pog! Alongside a new stackable effect. Now, the next step in this journey they talk about is the hybrid set, which is the Eclipse set. Now, this one combines ranged and melee. The Frost Moon did magic and melee. The set effect gives the wearer a 20% chance to inflict Burn, a new effect that causes the target to suffer 1 point of damage every 4 ticks. For 40 ticks? That's a total of 10 base damage. Now, that may not seem like a lot, but just you freaking hold your horses, buddy. Just calm down for a second. The effect can be stacked up to 5 times. And then they break it down exactly how that might play out. Okay, so let's say you're damaged with Burn. You're going to suffer 10 damage over 40 ticks. Not that crazy. 16 ticks later, you suffered a total of 4 damage. But then, you've been burned again, mother trucker. I'm now getting damage from the original burn in addition to damage from the new one. That's insane-o mode. I know, dude, I hear you. I'm agreeing with you. Relax. The special attack costs 50% special attack energy and consumes any remaining burn damage on your target. That's poggers, dude. For lack of a better word, that's freaking poggers. Now, the final thing they talk about here today is something called the Bladed Moon. An offhand weapon with a bigger slash bonus than Defenders. An extra defense. The final untradeable reward combines offense and defense. This offhand weapon combines the capabilities of a shield with the offensive power of a defender. It has similar stats to a Mithril Kite Shield, but offensively it provides some increase to stab, a higher slash bonus than any existing defender, and only 1 less melee strength bonus than the Dragon Defender. So to acquire this weapon, you'll need to combine something called a Blood, Eclipse, and Blue Moon Spike, which are obtainable from each of the 3 bosses. And that's all they give us for right now. Look at the freaking disrespect here. A man stands here to film a video for 15 minutes. You seem out of place. No trees here, bud. You know what, dude? Okay, I didn't get time to change out of my forestry outfit. Jagex is still pumping out updates, and I don't have time to go to the bank and change into more appropriate gear. Okay, get off my freaking case, dude. I guess I will teleport away to do the outro in a more appropriate setting. There, does that make you happy? So, I am curious to think what everyone else has to say about these updates, or the potential updates, I suppose. Like I mentioned, a lot of these rewards seem super fresh, and I'm always down for more Barrows type content, a Barrows Brothers V2. Now, it's going to be a pretty drastic change from Barrows, but it's a mid-level boss, there's multiple bosses, and the reward sets are very similar to Barrows type armor sets. So that all seems pretty sick to me. I'm all about it. Mid-level content especially, because I'm a safe hardcore Iron Man and I can't do any of the big scary content. It's scary Zora. Alright, I'm sorry. On that note, I'm gonna go. I need sleep. And food, probably. And help. See you later, everyone. I'm gonna go before I say anything else embarrassing. Until next time, maybe I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe for who knows what. But until then, bye!